Hi everyone, my name is Andy Klingensmith. I'm on the interpretation team here at Shaw Nature Reserve, and I want to thank you for joining me for another virtual hike as part of the Sights and Sounds Trail Series. We will be hiking the upper portion of the Goddard River Trail. This is a pretty easy 1 mile trail with its access point there at the trail house. So this trail winds us through not only patches of woodlands, but through our unique environment known as glades. So glades are fascinating because they only have a shallow layer of topsoil, and throughout this system we find rocky outcroppings of very old bedrock. And so the plants and animals that survive in here are uniquely adapted to surviving in such an area. So with that thin soil layer and those rocky outcroppings, this area is really easily disturbed. And about 30 or so years ago, our glades were nothing more than forests of eastern red cedar. But through our restoration efforts, we've removed a lot of those eastern red cedars, and we're bringing back these glade ecosystems to their full potential. So come with me and let's enjoy the sights and sounds of the Goddard River Trail. There are approximately 75 acres of these glade ecosystems found here at Shaw Nature Reserve. And with their shallow soil and exposed dolomite bedrock, that with the fact that these are found on south and southwest facing slopes, this provides a unique and rigid challenge for the plant species that live here. So plant species that survive here and thrive here are not only able to be out in full sun, they're drought tolerant, and they can also find the nutrients they need by wiggling their roots in between the cracks of this bedrock. And there are hundreds of plant species that are found in these glades. And through our continued restoration efforts here at Shaw Nature Reserve, every year we are seeing more and more of these native glade-loving plant species return. Because if we learned anything from our studies in the natural world or by simply watching Jurassic Park, we know that nature will always find a way. As we make our way along this trail, we find ourselves hiking in and out of these oak and hickory woodlands. And as it is spring, these trees are busy producing their own flowers. Now, when it comes to flower production of trees, it's more a matter of function over fashion. Since trees are wind pollinated, they don't have to spend energy creating these big showy flowers to entice other organisms, or what we call pollinators. But being wind pollinated has its own challenges. The odds of a single pollen grain reaching a female flower is very, very, very low. So to overcome these odds, trees expend a lot of their energy creating many, many, many male flowers. So note that this is an oak tree, and oaks are monoecious, meaning that they have both male and female flowers. So the male flowers are found on these catkins, where female flowers are found tucked away between the leaf stem and the twig. On this 6-inch piece of oak, we find 50 catkins. 50 catkins each have about 25 male flowers. 50 times 25, that's 1,250 male flowers on this 6 inches of oak tree. 1,250 on 6 inches. I'm looking at least 100 trees right now. Wild. And if we want to get even more crazy with our math, we can think about the male parts of a flower. There's a stamen and an anther, and the anther produces the pollen. And each one of these flowers has about 5 stamens. 1,250 male flowers, each with 5 stamens. That's 6,250 stamens of pollen production on 6 inches of tree. So I've made it to the end of our trail today. You could continue off to my left, which will take you down to the river, or you could head off to the trail behind me, which takes you up to the Prairie Observation Deck. So while I'm surrounded by these beautiful Indian paintbrushes here in this glade, I've found a really interesting plant that I've ID'd as Prairie Doc. So Prairie Doc is easily IDable by its large leaf. Most docs have large leaves. It's this nice spade shape, plus it has a lot of these serrations or jagged edges along the side or edge of the leaf itself. Plus, it has that nice sandpapery feel to it. So even though we find Prairie Doc usually up in the prairie, this is an ecotype of Prairie Doc. Ecotype simply meaning that a species of plants found in a particular habitat. So while the growth habits of both this ecotype of Prairie Doc and the ecotype found in the prairie are very similar, their height differs. So this Prairie Doc will grow only to about 4, maybe 5 feet tall with that nice yellow flower at the top. But its cousins in the prairie can grow to be about 8 feet tall. So I'm gonna head back to the trail house now. Why don't you take this time to practice your ID skills and see if you can name these plant species found in these next few scenes. All right, everyone, so I'm back here at the trail house. I hope you did pretty well on your plant ID. In my opinion, the more plants and animals that we can ID, the more connected that we feel to our natural community. So thank you very much for joining me on this virtual hike along the Goddard River Trail. And join me next week as we head down to the airstrip to hunt for butterflies. So if you have any ideas or sights or sounds that you would like to see, please leave a comment below and I will see if I can work that in to these virtual hikes. Until next time, please get outside, enjoy the natural world, and explore the sights and sounds in your area. See ya.